Even on vacation, Jeremiah finds a way to horse around. This little 2-going 3-year-old is ready to start learning how to horse. Every first lesson starts with the same touch points, working through each of the 5 points of their body: head, neck, shoulders, barrel, hip. Here he's starting with the nose. As he lifts the rope, it lightly tugs on her nose. The goal is for her to follow that tug, so as she braces, he'll increase the ass with the flag, ever increasing until she moves in the right direction. One side is always a little bit better than the other. As long as she's moving her feet, the flag pressure and rope pressure stays the same. Think about it like a fly pestering you until she makes the correct choice. The only time the pressure increases is when she refuses to move. And when she moves in the correct direction, there's no pressure at all. She's the one making things harder for herself, but she starts to understand what it is that will make her life easier. Each time she makes the correct choice to follow the pull on her nose, she gets to travel without any additional pressure. She chose to travel up the dirt mountain, so they will travel right back down in the same way. Now that she understands to follow her nose, he'll start moving through the neck and into the shoulders. This is done by asking her to keep her neck bent to keep the nose inward as she travels and not pull away. Little tap on the rope every time she hits the end of it or pulls, and then usually an immediate change of direction. The taps bring her back toward him and slightly throws her out of balance, and the constant change of direction keeps her focused on him. Now he'll work through the barrel. He's asking her to travel forward while bending around him. If she does this correctly, you'll see her feet cross as she travels forward. It's not perfect every time, but if she crosses her rear feet and moves forward with the front, she'll start to get it. She's new to every one of these exercises, so we're just looking for a willing effort. When she's willing, the exercise gets really easy. This movement will come in handy when we're asking her to turn while we're on top of her. Think about the flag as the pressure from your leg, and keeping the nose bent as the pressure on the rein. The last part of her body that we'll work on is the shoulders. Here, he's using something that he's already taught her and just asking her to improve upon it. She's supposed to follow her nose, stop, and then, when we ask, cross her front feet as she changes directions. When he asks her to stop and to step around is when her little sassy attitude surfaces again. He's taking away the ability to move forward, and it really frustrates her. She doesn't have to take every step correctly, but she needs to be willing. So every time she takes a step and then plants her feet or moves forward, he'll continue to ask her to move. One thing this filly really struggles to understand is that walking forward is not the answer to get away from pressure always. So one of the changes and cues while she's learning this will be to use the flag in front of her as a barrier while still applying pressure with his body to her shoulder to get her to move away. She was a bottle-raised baby, so it's understandable that she's struggling to move out of his space. So he'll spend a little time teaching her how to back up now. Backing is not a movement that horses do often naturally. It's a submissive action, so it's not something she's thrilled to practice. Eventually, she accepts that he's the leader and dictates the movement, not her. And when she does, there's a reward of relaxation and even a quick pat. Now that her attitude toward working each of the 5 body parts has improved, he can move forward with mounting work. Curiosity is something that we always look for in a horse. It means that they're thinking and working toward accepting and engaging in a task at the moment. We like to encourage them to move their feet in between mounting sessions. This teaches them not to lock up and freeze when things are a little scary or uncomfortable. And of course, he'll always mount from both sides. Eventually, your feet will hang off both sides of the horse, so it's important to make sure the horse starts out comfortable with being mounted on both sides. Prep work makes for a drama-free first ride.